Welcome to EmComm Solutions. Jake here. Today I'm going to do an update video on a solar node mesh radio solar node build. That's whether you're using Meshtastic or MeshCore, doesn't matter. This is because I get lots of questions about the shorts videos I have on my little test mesh radio test platform I have back in the States. So I wanted to do an update video. I think my first solar node build video was back in 2023 on my other YouTube channel, and since then there hasn't been a ton of changes, but I want to give some new recommendations. So today we're going to go over some quick notes on Meshtastic and MeshCore, a parts list, a recommended parts list, and then deployment recommendations, basically how you're going to set it up. And so we'll get started with Meshtastic and MeshCore, and the key takeaway there is you don't have to get too concerned about it if you haven't adopted one of those protocols. You can usually, depending on the device you get, and most are supported, you can switch between the two. So if you have reservations about jumping into one or the other, just know that it's a pretty simple switch to switch firmware. So now on the parts list, and one other caveat, let's talk this real quick. A solar node build or an infrastructure node build, whatever you want to call it, is kind of the next level. Typically you're going to start off with some sort of mesh radio first, handheld setup before you jump into building that infrastructure. But maybe you're one of those that's going to buy everything all at once and just jump in with both feet first. So now on to the parts list. Of course, you're going to start off with picking your own radio. What device are you going to get? My top pick, and it has been the same one, is the rack whiz block. So this is the reasons why is an NRF52 MCU. The microcontrol units are better on power. They don't use as much power as an ESP32 device, and there's other NRF52 MCUs out there, but rack, I like them for several reasons. The expansion slots that are on this one on the whiz block versus the mini. The mini is second on my list. You can easily add multiple expansion devices onto this, like an environmental node that's going to give you temperature, humidity, air quality, depending on which ones you got. There's a lot of different options. The GPS module, of course, too. And then the mini, which I have mounted in this. We'll talk this one here in a second. If I can get it open. The mini in here, and of course I'll be throwing links and pictures for all this stuff here in the video, but the mini is smaller, basically the same thing, just less expansion slots. So the first enclosure that I showed, the first enclosure I picked was the one that other people in the community were recommending, and that's the one that I have my initial build that I built way back in like 2023, and it works just fine. It's about the right size. It has enough room for batteries and anything else you want to add inside of it. For the most part, you can get larger ones. The same companies that make these make different sizes, so you can size it for what you're looking for. If you need a large battery, you can get a larger one. If you want to add in other capabilities to that enclosure, then get a larger one. Now the one I'm now recommending, it has the metal stainless steel clasps on it, and then a metal attachment, little ears that go on there. There'll be a picture here in the video. It's basically the same thing, same size, and it also includes the two pass-through little gland seals that you can pass cables through, and then you tighten them up, and it's got a silicone or rubber style seal in there, so it seals around that cable, preventing moisture from getting inside the enclosure. I still always recommend you put those on the bottom of the enclosures. That way water runs away instead of pooling on the top of those or on the sides, just somewhere where the water's not going to pool and sit there on that seal, because you're going to potentially get water intrusion that way. Now, so there's the enclosure. That's knocked out. Antennas here on this one. This is a quick build that I built here for my place in Europe, my new place in Europe, and it is literally just a IP66 electrical junction box. And I think I spent around €4 or something like that on it. and it is very simple. And it's got the, I just put a piece of foam in here, zip tied the damn rack mini on there. I've got the only thing really special is I got a USB-C pass-through waterproof one. I'll talk that in the accessories. And then a 3000 milliamp LiPo battery that's double-sided taped to the cover here. And this closes up, seals up. It's got some good attachment points. I'm looking at a couple options, maybe magnets, because I don't want to mount anything permanent to my rental home here. So, and then I'll be pairing that with a solar panel. I'll show you that here in a second. So the Alpha, what I was initially talking about, the Alpha antenna, which is a great omnidirectional, meaning it broadcasts in all and then receives in all directions. 868 because of the frequency for EU here, or Europe, and they make them for other regions like the 915s for the US, and they're a great antenna. You also see the type in, and I'll be putting links to this so you can see what I'm talking about if you're not familiar with that. It's the type of connector with the pass-through that it's the waterproof one that has the O-ring gasket on it so that it seals up when it goes through there. And then you can put some tape on there. I'll put the tape in the link also that helps prevent water from intruding into the threads in that area and potentially causing problems with your radio, because if you get, yeah, we'll move on from there. Batteries is one of those areas where you really have to size it for your situation. If you live in an area that gets lots of sunshine, you can get away with a smaller battery, like maybe a 2000 milliamp hour battery. But if you live in an area like Washington State, where my home's at, you're going to probably need a larger battery to span those gloomy, cloudy days where you're not getting a lot of solar exposure, something 3000 milliamps and higher. If you're using something like a LiPo, you want to make sure when you order it, and I'll put a link for the right one from Rockland, is it has the right connector if you don't want to have to cut and splice and adapt it. The JST 2.0 connectors is what the rack WISBlock wants for its power, and then you need to verify, even if you have the right connector, verify the polarity, the red and the black, they're your plus and minus, because you can get some that have the JST 2.0 connector and its polarity's wrong, and if you plug that in, you're probably going to fry your device. So you've been warned. I have a video on that. I'll link that video there up here in the video, but you can also swap the polarity by just repinning them, which is just requires a little tool to pick the thing out without damaging it, swapping it over. Or you can buy the little pigtails and splice one on there, whatever your choice is. You're probably going to want a soldering iron for that and some heat shrink. So, okay, enough about batteries. There's a lot more that can be discussed about batteries, but I don't want to beat it to death. Solar panels. So initially I was using the SoShine 6 watt, 5 volt panel. And the challenge with that is the mounting of it. They do have some newer panels that have more mounting options, and even some that I've seen that have like this style mounting bracket. But if you're looking for something simple, this is my new recommendation. Is these are meant for security cameras, and they have the 5 volt output, usually between 6 and 5 watt panels, which is plenty, and they have a cord already attached with a USB-C, so you can use the USB-C or you can cut it and splice it for a JST 1.25 pigtail to connect to the solar side of the WISBlock. So those are your options there. Now, and those panels range between like 16 and 18 US dollars. So accessories. Now, for that enclosure I was talking about, the initial enclosure, there's some mounting plates that you can get for those that'll mount to the mount screws in the back, or the mounting points on the back of the enclosure. And those have a clamp on them, a hose style clamp that you can attach to a pole. So that would make it good for whether it's a J pole mounted on the side of your house or a antenna tower or some sort of other pole, makes it easy to mount to those. So those are options there. Other accessories, of course, you might want is like the USB-C, waterproof USB-C pass-throughs. then, accessories for your WizBlock, GPS modules if you so choose, environmental modules. There's lots of things you can add in there. Not all of those modules are compatible with Meshtastic. So you can go on Rax Wireless's website and you're going to see all these others, and even on Rockland, all these other modules, and some of those are for other style projects because you can use these things for more than just Meshtastic and MeshCore. So those are things you need to, do some research on before you just go buy it thinking it's going to work with Meshtastic or MeshCore. So those are things you need to consider. Other accessories, like I said, mounting accessories, mounting poles like J poles that are meant for like mounting antennas on the side of a house. Those are the type of things you're probably going to want to look at. And I'll provide links for a few of those just so you can kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. So deployment recommendations. This is just basically how you're going to set it up, where you're going to set it up. Ideally as high as you possibly can and unobstructed as possible. And if you're relying on solar power, you're going to have to take in solar exposure as a variable there too. So ideally rooftop, balcony off of an apartment building, radio towers best, but highest off the ground as possible is going to get you more coverage of that area. And understand, because the range question always gets asked, mesh radios, point to point, without any hops, without another radio in between you and there, it varies. It varies if you got tons of trees that are blocking from your location to where you're trying to communicate with. If there's terrain, you're definitely not getting through that. Some foliage, some trees, so on and so forth, you're going to get through some of that potentially, depending on how thick it is. You may notice in the wintertime when all the leaves have dropped, you get better coverage than in the summer when all the leaves are back on the trees. Those type of things are going to affect it. It's line of sight radio. Ideally, to get the best range, you get higher to give you more coverage. And then you also can look at having, the more people that are in your mesh network, that's going to potentially, because hops are going to benefit you there. So those are things you need to consider when you're picking a location to mount this infrastructure solar node. So the last part on deployment recommendations is what role are you going to choose? So for Meshtastic, there's roles. I have a whole video kind of talking about this. Client base is newer. That video doesn't address it, but client base is ideal. That's what I have this one set up as. And then that basically just allows it to receive messages, traffic from outside, where maybe indoors you don't get good coverage with your handheld, mesh radio, and relay it so that you can pick up those messages from traffic that's going on, outside your home. And there's some other roles, but please research those before you choose some of those roles like router, because if you deploy it incorrectly, you can inadvertently cause congestion, unnecessary congestion in your local mesh network using Meshtastic. Now, MeshCore is a lot cleaner on this side, and they have a repeater role that is ideal for an infrastructure node. So you're going to want to look at that also if you're using MeshCore. So if you have questions, of course, put them in the comments. You can check out my Discord server. You can check out my Telegram channel. Those links will be down below. Social media, website, much, much more down below. If you want to support the channel, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe. Thanks for watching.